you can't take a very short period of time. There's a cycle with any heavy capital-intensive industry. If, say, we start at a point of high prices, so they invest because they can make money out of it. The investment comes online, that increases supply, so prices start to come down. You then have a period of low prices, you have consolidation, companies not making much money, combining together. That begins to push the price back up again, and it reaches a point where the cycle goes round again. Now, as you mentioned, a couple of years ago, BP were posting losses because we have had a period of quite low oil prices historically until the last year. We can step in and take money off these companies at this stage, but ultimately what that will mean is they won't do the investment bit of the cycle. It's often said the cure to high prices is high prices, because that's what provides the money to make the investment to bring the prices down again.
Harry, it's so easy to kick big oil, but actually they do put a lot of money, for instance, into things like pension funds. Oh, and they employ lots of people. Yes, and as you said, they're already paying a huge amount of tax, even before that windfall tax that came in a few months ago. And also, as you said, a couple of years ago, the oil price was in fact negative, and those two majors, BP and Shell, were losing a huge amount of money. No one was suggesting we should step forward and bail them out. This is the price you pay for taking the risk, is you can lose a lot and can also make a lot. I think it's just very unfair that oil companies are attacked in a way that other companies aren't. So when AstraZeneca, quite rightly, makes a fortune out of its various vaccines and pharmaceuticals, no one suggests we should do windfall tax on them. Fascinating point, Malcolm. Do you see that? I mean, and if it's true, and I suspect it's at least half true, why?
Yes, because energy, for first thing, it's really in your face. You know, the energy bill comes to us every month. We fill the car up with petrol. Yeah. It's very, very immediate for us. And there is also an environmental angle. Some of these oil companies over the years have not behaved as well as they should in terms of local environmental effects, and we're now concerned about climate change. But we can't have it both ways. We could pay for all of this out of public money, but then it would be competing with the health service and with education and with the police and all the things that are, frankly, a bit sexier, rather than saying we're going to make an investment now because we think it'll bring your power prices down in 15 years. And we've seen that the state doesn't always do this terribly well. If we're going to do it with private money, which makes a lot of sense, then those companies have to be allowed to make a reasonable profit over the whole cycle. And inevitably that means times when they're not making anything and times when they're making quite a lot.
And in summary, and you come at this not as a cheerleader for the industry, but in summary, to those who are saying, yes, we've got a windfall tax, let's make it that little bit bigger, you say...
Well, the problem with windfall taxes generally is that they are retrospective, that they say to companies, invest if you like, but if you make money, we're going to take it off you. And at that point, then we're in danger of the worst of both worlds, where the prices are very high, but the money isn't going to investments because the companies are afraid of future policy, so it all goes to the shareholders. And yes, the pension fund point is a good one, but most shareholders are not pension funds. They're companies or private individuals. And so we get the worst of both worlds, high prices, but not the investment going in to reduce the prices.
And Harry, there's a moral, I'm not sure, maybe moral's not the right word, but let's use it anyway. There is a moral hazard question here. The morality of the thing. It's what they do in Venezuela. Companies make too much money, legally, entirely legally, and the state says, we'll have that tar. Yes, exactly. And if you take it to its extreme, you get Venezuela naturally a very, very rich country in resources being near collapse. And if you were to tax BP and Shell to death, other majors would come pouring in from across the world. American oil companies, I think I'm right in saying, Malcolm, reported huge profits last month as well. So they'll just step in.
And Mr. Putin will continue making huge amounts of money by selling his gas and oil because we haven't invested in our own.
Hey, let's have BP and Shell, not Gazprom. Can I say that? Yeah, I think I can. Malcolm, thanks very much indeed.